crossfaded, 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 crossfaded.
Okay.
Definition of the day.
Yes, sir.
You guys. So music, people employed by music, artists, singers, rappers, musicians abroad. This definition applies to you. If you do not have an account with SoundExchange, you have not been doing business probably at all if you don't know about SoundExchange.
Wow.
You've probably been thinking you've been doing business, but ain't been doing shit. So who is SoundExchange? Well,
but what is SoundExchange?
What is SoundExchange?
There you go.
SoundExchange collects and distributes digital performance royalties from the use of sound recordings on behalf of more than 155,000 recording artists and master rights owners, typically the record label, and administers direct agreements on behalf of rights owners and licensees.
Right.
It is the only organization officially designated in the U.S. Congress to do so.
Wow.
SoundExchange pays featured and non-featured artists meaning background vocalists, session musicians, etc., and master rights owners for the non-interactive, you don't choose which song plays, use of sound recordings underneath the statutory licenses set forth in, and this is some kind of law code, 17 USC and 112 and 17 USC and 114. So usually that code is how you look up in a book of laws to see what legislation is referring to this particular piece of information. So SoundExchange is this really, really necessary place that you are to be signed up with, that you are working and checking closely with for your pay, for the monies of the songs that you have that are in rotation for performance royalties and other rights that your song is working for. Recording artists or the masters that you have of some songs. So this is how, because you can't do it all yourself. You can't. There's so much in music that you have to do on your own, and a lot of musicians don't understand that, because a lot of folks get into music and they just think, I'm gonna blow up and they're gonna love me, but there's a part behind the curtain that deals with a tremendous amount of business.
The business part of it, right?
Yes, and right. SoundExchange is one of the most important tools that you must have. SoundExchange and PRO, or Performance Rights Organization, which we'll do a definition about. There's no excuse for you to not be signed up with any of them. The only excuse is ignorance. And as an artist, coming from places like where I'm from in Indianapolis, Indiana, there are a limited amount of resources pertaining to knowledge, but that's up to you. If you are going into business, it's up to you to do the research and the due diligence necessary to educate yourself to the functionality of it, to what's behind the curtain, to what things that you have to implore in your business for it to make revenue and for it to be successful. So if you don't have SoundExchange, you're not really an artist. You're just kind of doing it for a hobby. I equate people that don't have SoundExchange and PRO companies where they've assigned themselves to and gotten IRC codes, and you need to learn about that.
Wow.
If you haven't done any of that, I would equate you to
a novice.
Not just a novice, but I would equate you to, the closest thing you could be close to is I would say a karaoke singer. Just to put it there. Like basically you're doing it for the flash in the pan fun.
The 5 seconds of fame.
That's right. Flash in the pan fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. Make sure, artists and musicians, you go and get yourself a SoundExchange, man. Go get one now. Sign up now. I think there's a yearly membership of $100 that you have to pay a year, but that's paying this organization $100 a year for them to go and get thousands of dollars of your money of money that you didn't know that was available to you as an artist. There's so much money available to you as an artist. People think that shows is the only way to make money.
No.
People don't. Dude, social media is one of the biggest one of the biggest ways to get paid doing music. People just don't understand. I didn't understand either. It took for me to be a year and a half in the social media space and to establish platforms with millions of views. YouTube isn't the only place we have millions of views.
Oh no.
It's just the most prominent platform that we have because of its versatility and because of the space that YouTube creates.
It is a brand. YouTube is a brand.
That too, but YouTube that's not the most important. What's most important is you're able to showcase your brand,
right,
and you're able to galvanize that following, and it's leveraged towards YouTube's payment system.
Right.
Like YouTube, for instance, pays per million views. It's like $3,000 some odd dollars.
Wow.
So if you get 1 million views, YouTube pays you like $3,000 some odd dollars.
Wow.
YouTube also pays for streams. So if you have a song that's put up on YouTube and you have it properly registered for streaming purposes,
right,
you get streams as well.
Which I know you do.
Absolutely. Well, we will be. I just haven't released any new music to come underneath the new assignments. But
I thought paper was out already.
Nah, it ain't out.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear Omega music on here, it is unreleased, and you only get to hear it when you tune into this show.
Wow.
Otherwise, you'll be alerted to the release of it on these social media platforms, and then you get to catch it, in its time. But everything we play on here as of now has been unreleased. So you're hearing it for the first time, or if you've been watching the last few shows, you've been hearing it for the last few times. And I like to play the same songs, the ones that are coming and the ones that I feel that'll stick to your ribs like good food.
Yes.
So, but yeah, man, get yourself a SoundExchange account now. Artists, stop playing, stop waiting, do it now. Singers, jazz musicians.
You gotta spend money in order to make money.
That's right.
$100 is all it takes.
That's right. And these people will follow your music to the ends of the earth and collect and figure out, oh, well, this guy is over here playing this. I had.
Are those the same guys that they had Michael Jackson with the whole? Someone said it was Samako style that they stole from the African guy.
That's a different situation.
No.
But for instance, crazy situation with this, and Adrian, my street correspondent, he can attest to this. Adrian and Brian, and I think another cousin of mine walked into a strip club one day. And the strip club was in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh my God.
And right before the girl took the stage, she put on a song. And it turned out to be a song that I had written and that I had performed. It was my song, my vocals, my voice, my concept.
Wow.
It was a song called Song Cry. And I had done that song on a mixtape album. Now, during this period of time, Brian, he's one of my street team affiliates.
That's Be Right.
Yeah. But he also, Brian has been 10 toes down with me since day one.
Wow.
Like that year, he probably passed out a couple of 100 CDs just for free at truck stops because he was truck driving. He was connecting with a lot of people on the road.
Wow.
So he was giving music to people on the road that had the time because they in trucks and stuff.
Right.
And they could pop the shit in and listen.
Right.
Every time he would call me, he'd be calling me from a truck stop. Hey man, I'm just catching up with one of my fellow truckers, man. I just caught up with him after he done had your CD for about the last week or 2 weeks, and he loves it. And he throw the guy on the phone with, man, I love your shit, man. I swear to God, man, I talked to so many truckers.
Wow.
Like, man, I wish he was on here to attest to that. But whatever happened in that process, there's some girl at a strip club in Memphis that got a hold of the CD.
Wow.
And she chose to dance to Song Cry on my mixtape.
Wow.
Now, if I had been on my business,
yes,
and if I had a SoundExchange account,
yes,
that would have counted for a performance royalty towards the collection of my views, or not views, but towards the collection of my music rotation.
Right.
If I had been on my shit. Now, when your music is played in a club, the club owner also has a responsibility to make sure that he is reporting the music that they're rotating in the club, which a lot of club owners don't. But you better believe the top 10 and the top 40 stuff gets reported, because that's Drake and all them, and they're going to make sure they have a sound lock on their music and the reporting of where it gets played, where it gets rotated amongst DJs, and even if it's just automatic sound systems like jukeboxes. All of that stuff is being tracked. So if I'd have been on my business and had a sound exchange, I could have been, no telling how many times that girl danced to that song. But she happened to dance to it one night where 3 of my cousins walked into the strip club that did not know her from Adam.
Are you sure it wasn't a study? Are you sure they said I play it?
Man, they was breaking their neck trying to get to the DJ booth to ask him where they got the CD. They wanted to talk to her. Where'd she get the CD from?
Right.
Brian didn't know her. Didn't nobody know her.
Wow.
Music travels.
It does.
Music has a mind of its own. It travels.
Oh my God! Back in the days, it was CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks. Now it's digital. You can push a button and send a song to somebody.
Traveling even more now than ever.
In the cloud. It's in the cloud.
Yep. So yeah, man. Artists, get on your business. Get your SoundExchange account. Get it today. Don't wait. Put the $100 down. If you can go spend $100 on shoes and all the other stuff you spend $100 on that's basically cosmetic, man, get your back office right. Don't be out here like I told a friend of mine. He's a DJ from here, DJ East Side Official. Don't be out here like that, man, where you don't have your back and your materials covered and you just constantly putting out more product. My guy is a talented DJ, but like I had to tell him at this point, it's all hobby and you're setting yourself up to get robbed because you don't have any protection over any of the stuff that you're posting on these music sites like SoundExchange, or not SoundExchange, but SoundCloud and all of these places. You don't have no protection. Somebody else could come along and take your mixes, take your name. You don't have a copyright or a trademark on your name or nothing. And somebody could just be a whole nother East Side official come from the same city. And then it wouldn't be nothing. But it had to come down to a court battle, of which you probably can't afford because you ain't made any money in the first place to go to court to try to fight for something that you didn't have ownership for because you didn't register it. Ain't that's like a fucked up little wormhole right there,
man?
So yeah, man, go get your SoundExchange account, you guys, if you're a real artist out there. All right, real talk.
Crossfaded, 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 crossfaded.